Thank you, Zakia. Man, yeah, so many plugs and buttons. One more brief time around the block. Basically, I was just saying, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Universal Dimensions of Leadership. We played the broadcast from yesterday's recording. The subject was the mission is possible. We may, in fact, add another part on it, but it was really just a transitional, or intended to be a transitional stop. Let's call it a rest stop along the way, because the subject is just so broad, so absolutely necessary. And I just can't find justification for, well, go on to something else, because the object is not entertainment. The object is not just do what makes people happy. No, it's a mission. It is revolutionary in the fullest sense. So you got to hear this, because the windows of opportunity to do what we have to do, they are closing, and it's just so much deeper than we can say, even in this preparatory and prefatory statement. So I'm just going to keep on going. We'll say more later. So Blog Talk, push one on your phone, come on through. We got Brother Mark. Brother Mark, I was about to put a APB out for you, man. I'm saying, where my man at? I ain't heard from him.
Assalamu alaikum to you, Imam Fahim Shuaib, to your very astute listenership here. This is Mark Shahi from the STL, the Gateway City of St. Louis in the Show Me State of Missouri. I want to say Alhamdulillah, that the praise and thanks belongs to Allah first and foremost, and want to commend you once again on the excellent book, as you said, like a PSA, public service announcement, transitioning, but still, you're still on the case.
Inshallah.
And just wanted to just say, yes, sir, I just say to you, that the last, I think, 2 or 3 Saturdays, I've been preoccupied with community things. We have an annual barbecue. I'm on the Reopen Declare Muhammad School Committee here, and I'm really committed to that. Excellent leadership and document by Keel. So we have that as one of our major fundraisers that we have, and it was very successful by Allah's grace and favor. And then also I attend the DNA Muslim Convention there in Inkster, Michigan, where the great work led by Imam Ezekiel Pasha, and what it is Imam Muhammad asked him to do. So that was another thing. And then we had the janaza of one of our long pioneers, reached the age of 96 and a half years old. And that also was like on the Saturday. So just saying those things that took me away, but I was missing coming on Saturday, because I always look forward to this production each and every Saturday, as you well know. And I try to always listen and offer some commentary. And I do want you to know that in the second half of your cookbook, I've been there, done that. And I looked at that years ago and just realized what it is that Allah blesses us with is we are conveyors of the message of the Quran, the life example of the Prophet in all. Sometimes it comes and flows through us. We're a conduit, but it touches us. It touches us in a certain way, the sensitivity that we have for what it is that we're saying, the love for the truth, the haq, the reality, what we have to deal with, and especially when it comes to our children, our grandchildren, nieces and nephews, and just the world's children at large, and what they're being subjugated to in this day and time. This is a real serious matter, very serious matter, and I love your topic in your cookbook. The mission is possible. You know, they had a old show years ago. Quite sure you remember. I didn't watch it much, but I remember they called it Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Where says, I'm possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to really, really, really watch, the words and the etymology of words and what is being conveyed to us in words. This is something Imam Muhammad taught us as students to look at the words, because they're like seeds. And I remember years ago talking to a believer in the community and conveyed to me in the life of the legendary boxing champion Muhammad Ali, who had learned something that was reported he learned from Jabir Muhammad, a.k.a. Herbert Muhammad, when he was his manager.
Mm-hmm.
And it was asked, Muhammad Ali was at Deer Lake there in Pennsylvania where he used to train, and he saw a lady and he stopped. He was doing his running, and he saw this lady looking at a tree, and he said he stopped and asked her, what's the most important part of that tree? And of course, she's thought about it for a little bit, and she said the roots. And we know trees have different parts or components to it. So he said, well, that's a good answer. He said, but the most important part of that tree is the seed.
Mm-hmm.
The seed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that to say this, that oftentimes we think about the root, but it can't be a root without a seed, because the seed embodies the potential of every aspect of that tree. I was just on another program just most recently today, and you talk about the different and various branches of different things and the issues, the problems, if you will, that branch out. And we look at the Quran, what Allah says about the good word, the good tree, the bad word, the bad tree, and all of this. But I think it's so very, very important that when we look at what the mission is, Allah gives us the mission in the Quran and in the life example of the Prophet, very simply put, in terms of that. And how is it that you do build Ummah? How do you do that? Allah gives us the collective purpose in terms of how what we are created to do, but He also individually, because to each is a goal that He turns them to. And I think that for us, it starts in the home life, in the family life, and then knowing that it is that we can have influence. As a word talented, that word influence, it never else lurking under each new condition or circumstance emerging. There's always an influence that's lurking under each new condition or circumstance that emerge. That can be positive, that can be negative. So what is it that as parents that we can actually do? About 4 years ago, I was invited at the DNA to do a workshop on family and the influence that we can have. See, we sometimes underestimate what it is that Allah has given to us as a role and responsibility. And I took that word influence and used it as an acronym. I won't go through all of it, but I'll just simply say, for us to have really influence in terms of our children, our grandchildren, nieces, nephews, community children, just children just at large, we have to invest in them. And meaning we have to invest some time. We all busy. We got important things to do. But I'm just asking, how much time do we really invest in our children? And then the N stands for natural role model. Well, you said, well, the Prophet is a natural role model. But depending on the age and stages you so eloquently articulated, with our children, depending on the age and stage, they are very young, you're that role model. You should be the one modeling the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the adab and all of that. The F is that we have to have faith, and have faith in our children. What it is Allah, our children are Allah's creation. Have faith in them. Have faith in what Allah has created and how He has created that. The L stands for we have to listen. We have to listen to them. Oftentimes, parents want the children to listen to them what they say. But if you're going to reach and teach the child, you have to know where they are. So the only way you're going to know where they are is that you have to listen to them. And so it falls with you to understand that children. That doesn't mean that you agree with everything that they say, but you have to understand where they are. And the first E, is that we have to encourage them. We have to encourage them to do that which is right. Encourage them to do what it is Allah says that we should do. The N, we have to help them to navigate. We don't make the choices for them, but help them in terms of the navigation of their life. And this is often missed in a lot of families. And then that C is dual. We have to have a concern and a care for them. In an acronym in terms of care, we have to have compassion, appreciation, and value them, respect them. And it should be evident in experience. That's the acronym for care. To show that it cares, the old saying, really, ma'am, is that children don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. But it has to be exemplified in the compassion, the appreciation, the respect that we have for the new life that we have a responsibility for. And then finally, the last letter in influence is enthusiasm. There's nothing that's more contagious in life than enthusiasm. When we see our children in terms of making accomplishments and seeing that the seed that we have put into them, but that it really as fathers, that second seed. And what is it that we're putting in them that we want to see grow and develop in them? This gives our children a chance in this life. I could say more, but I think I said enough. I know there's other people. Thank you for giving me the opportunity just to share my 2 cent worth in this record. But I love the Kubar. I pray Allah that you will do a part 2 to it. It's Allah continues to guide you. But I've been there, done that, and given workshops or ta'leems or what, and it stopped me in my track. And I got very emotional, especially when it comes to our youth, our young adults, and what it is, the role and responsibility that we have, and know that they're very, very vulnerable. And if we don't do these things, our children are not exempt just because we say that we are Muslim. And really, ma'am, inshallah, I hope to see you. I plan on being at this historic dinner and conference that's coming up. My good sister and friend Fitra given her opportunities on the platform that I have on IWDM radio at the MGM Roundtable that Allah has blessed me to construct, the Muslim Global Message Roundtable, to get that information out. So I look forward to seeing you and hearing your presentation as you're one of the very distinguished, esteemed presenters there this coming weekend. May Allah continue to bless you and us.
Amen.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, very, very excellent information for the record. Praise be to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I encourage all to go back and listen to that and take note of it, use it, apply it, be aware, be influenced by it. Alhamdulillah. One of the reasons my brother had as not only the value of what he was saying and the content that he always brings, and the fact that we've missed his comments over the past 3 weeks, but it seemed like nobody else got nothing to say. MashaAllah. And so many people have explained to me it's just the way it is. They're just back receiving and how can you say, just digesting, let's say. So let me go ahead and add to what we've said. It's always a challenge for me to try to decide, okay, well, some parts you're going to put it, I feel like a sister preparing dinner for her husband, maybe a husband preparing dinner for the wife, etc. That does happen, I hear. but you got something. There's so much chicken left. There's so much beef left. There's so much of this left. There's so much of that left. So it's like, okay. So you talk about leftovers, and you think about, okay, well, and then you think about lunch, right? Between yesterday's dinner and tonight's dinner, of course, there's lunchtime, and then there's those leftovers there, and then you say, well, should I eat these leftovers for lunch, or should I leave them alone and save them for dinner and do something else? And that's kind of where I get caught in unfinished material from Juma to Juma. Like today is like lunch, right? Do I take from a little from yesterday, or do I save it for next week? I don't know. I'm going to do something. But let's just start out with the idea. Well, I just cover some of the some of the things that I was going to input as setup for some of the other things, but they are very useful. Let's start with this. And then we'll see where it goes after that. Most of you know by now that I play chess as a hobby. I don't play chess in a club. I don't play chess in competition. I don't play chess in the interest of being a professional, being a professional chess player, anything like that, or even a Central Park hustler, whatever. No, I play chess as a hobby. It's just a hobby. It's just like if somebody builds model airplanes or something like that. So I do. And one of the thoughts that was prefatory for the subject, the mission is possible, was to let people know, let us Muslim believers, the listener, the audience, to know that, it seems like there's a lot of things to do. And in a manner of speaking, there are a lot of things to do. There are a lot of things to do. I mean, for you as an individual, just to live, right? Just to live and get through life on a day-to-day regular basis. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you have to watch out for. There's a lot of things that you have to be conscious of. There are a lot of ways that you do. When I say you, I mean we, all of us, that we do and can make mistakes. And sometimes it can be so frustrating. Because especially when you make a mistake and you realize that you knew better, right? You realize that you knew better, but you just weren't paying attention. And I'm talking about in your life. I'm talking about in your life as relates to your husband, relate to your wife, relate to your, whatever, friend, associate, business partner, children, etc. It's like those things happen, right? And so I had in my thoughts the complication that life is, the complication that life is. I mean, just living and trying to move through and grow and be at peace and et cetera, and deal with problems and solve problems and not be overwhelmed by problems. These are all the things that you have to do in life to have a peaceful day. To have a peaceful day, you have to all those things in mind. Now, stated that way, maybe you might not see it as, but some people are in that place where everything is so right there on the surface, and they're like, wow, that is stressful, that is nerve-wracking, that is anxiety producing. So and that's why the mental health angle of what we're talking about, which I still have yet to really come to in the subject, that will probably be more of Friday's coming. So I know, okay. So when I say the mission is possible in the context of that little backdrop, then I come back to the issue of chess, right? Because it's a game that it is complicated. I'm making a mistake. Let me try this one more time. Sometimes I can turn it off. Here. Yeah. This book here, can you see that? I'll do it like this. It's called The Immortal Game, right? The Immortal Game, the history of chess. or how 32 carved pieces on a board illuminated our understanding of war, art, science, and the human brain, right? I have read the book. Okay. And it's a very excellent read, right? I'm gonna try to find one note here. Hopefully it shows up quick. Um, the point is the magnitude of complexity of it. And I'll admit to you that, as Mark mentioned, and we hear all the time, or we hear on a regular basis, as Muslims, to each is a goal to which he is turning, so strive as in a race towards all that is good. Right? I was actually looking for a number of how many possible games there are in when you sit down at the board. How many possible games are you playing? And and the point is that there are more possible. I'm talking about games. Every time someone plays a game of chess, you are quite likely playing, that is, in the black-white competition, in the two persons who are playing on that game, quite possibly you are actually playing a particular game that has never been played before. Can't find it. The point is that there are more possibilities of games than there are atoms in the known universe. Just the math of it. I wanted to give you the number. Can't find it. So there is a complexity to life. There's only certain number of players. You know, I think everybody has 16 pieces, right? And there's 64 squares and all of that. And so there's a great deal to it. So the complexity just goes on and on and on and on. And it is very much like life. And there are certain things that are fundamental that they have to be standard in your mind as you play the game. As a beginner, there's everything that you're told about beginning. I'm going to mention, inshallah, of just some basic beginner type stuff in order to do that. I mean, let me just say it and then I'll go through it okay. So you're playing the game. So you have one player is black, one player is white. That's it in terms of the character. I won't get all into the racial dimensions and the so-called quote unquote white supremacist dimensions of it. Don't want to go there. I just want to talk about just the game itself. For the sake of beginners and for the sake of understanding how it relates to the complexity of life. This is why I'm saying this. It's because chess is life, metaphorically, analogically. It is. One quick example for this. Every time in chess, unlike whist or any other game, you can't pass. As okay, I won't make a move. Go ahead, you can take another move. No. You must move. Excuse me. You must move. And every time you make a move, there's advantages and disadvantages. It doesn't matter. You always have to make a move. And no matter what move you make, you can call it your best move, which is what you're always looking for. But no matter what, your best move is always going to have advantages and disadvantages. That's how life is too. And in life, you have to move. If you're not moving in life, you're dead. If you're not moving in life, you're dead. So you have to make a move or you're dead. And yeah, sometimes it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's life, right? So listen to what the Quran tells us to do. Fastabiqul khairat. Always strive after what is best under the circumstances. That's the Quran. That's the Quran, right? That's master guidance for life. That is also in the game of chess. You are always striving to do the best under the circumstances, make the best move under the circumstances. So, what does that mean? Then that means that you have to always be analyzing. And listen, I understand that the issue of temperament, different people have different temperaments, right? Those of you who have done the temperament sorter with us, you know that they've been broken down in 4 types, different name for the same dispositions for over 2,500 years. I have to categorically, this has been known, these 4 categories have been known for 2,500 years, but they've just been given different labels by different people in different eras, right? But they're 4, right? You have the rational, you have the idealist, you have the which are they? Rational, idealist. Any other time I would have them right on top of my head. I haven't done it so long. I'm a rational. Oh, guardians, and there's a 4th one. Some of y'all out there know. So either way, there are 4. There are 4. Rational, ideal, guardian. Can't think of it. Somebody out there is the one that I'm missing right now. I'll take a look at my my chat box. Those of you who if you come up with it, let me know. Any case, the point is that I say you have to constantly be analyzing. Yes, for someone who's irrational, maybe that's just like their mode of being. That's their way of being. It's easy for them. It's habitual for them. But maybe if you're an idealist, artisan, that's what it is, artisan. So yeah, artisan, idealist, rationalist. So maybe I should use, or G is in there, so I can't use raid. So the point is rational, artisan, guardian, and idealist. Rational, artisan, guardian, idealist. Okay. So the rationals, they already, if you have an inclination towards being analytical, and as a result, they approach life. But of course, the rationals have problems in life of a different order because of those areas where they're not as strong. Their idealism may not be as strong. Their guardian ness may not be as strong, and the third that I'm not mentioning. So the point is that that's what you have to do. Okay, so therefore, whenever in the game of chess, one of the first things that you have to do, and something that you have to always be conscious of, is what's called the SWOT analysis, right? To go with the letters SWOT, not SWAT like the police, but you can take it like that because you are in a battle, if you will. SWOT, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I'm trying to show you. Chess is life. Life is complicated, and the things that you have to remember in order to make the proper analysis, in order to make the best move under the circumstances, then, and this one thing that this is just one thing that I'm mentioning to you, is a fundamental reality. So you need to know strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you need to know that about, in the game of chess, you need to know that about your quote unquote opponent's position. And you need to know that about your own position. So this is how we have to go about our life as well. We have to look at our life. What are the strengths in our life? What are the weaknesses in our lives? What are the opportunities in our lives? and what are the threats in our lives. Now, on the board in the game of chess, of course, you're asking that about your side of the board, and you're asking that about your opponent's side of the board. I'm saying in life, you have to ask that about yourself first, right? And once you have an awareness of that, then that's the beginning of your analysis of deciding how you're gonna act. I didn't expect to, and I don't, and I won't continue to go in all deeper detail. That's just one thing. Uh, One other small thing, or rather, I'll add another small thing. One of the key things in the game of chess is the control of the center of the board. It's a key thing. And I have to admit to you, brother and sister, it really, really took me years, I'll have to say years, to just really appreciate that simple statement. And it wasn't until it was within the last year, literally. And I took up the hobby of chess like 17 years ago. So I was in Egypt, just to tell you. In 2005, finished classes, didn't have much to do. The app was on my computer. I said, okay, well, let's just play around with it. I had no interest in no playing at all at that time. And I started playing and have been playing as a hobby ever since. Um, so, but I'm saying it was just really in the last year a real deep formal appreciation of the significance of control of the center and the center four squares. That's just recent. After all that, and what cinched it for me is when I came to see and understand. Oh, it's connected with the base of the human being, the base of a pyramid, and okay, let me see. I don't know. I try. This is I'll admit a part of the shortcomings of this extemporaneous side of it is that when I go to look for these pieces that I didn't originally include, I have to take up a little more of your time. Let me see if I can get to it. Because there's so much that I had wanted to go. Oh, there it is. Since I got here, okay. Sam and Dave say, hold on, I'm coming. There used to be this little commercial that said, you're going to love this. I hope you do. So let's share. All right. Let me just, I do have to show you. Those of you who are with us on Wednesday, I was working my way through all this. Then we switched up. It's just too much, so we just can't do it. But let's get to this piece here that we wouldn't. All right. So, because this is the scene from the esoteric people, right? And so this is one of their halls and one of their rooms. Sorry, Blog Talk. I'm showing this image of one of the Masonic rooms where they have, and you see like the chessboard type imagery right there in the front of it, and it's really, when you see these in movies, even when they have the tile on the floor. Like in a Matrix or some other movie, tile on the floor. It doesn't have to be black and white. It can also be green and white or whatever. But it's so those people who understand the symbolism, they know that, okay, well, it is a Masonic in nature, quote unquote, having to do with that. And again, in the Greater Hall, you still have those same images, the same chess-ish imagery. And I will tell you is this one thing that I was when I was passing through the book, I was reminded. You know that the Muslim changed the game. Everybody want to tell you that just is haram and all that. It's like that's somebody who can't play or is not interested. I won't even go through that. Get the book. You can find if you're interested in what I'm saying and seeing the Islamic angle on it. Backgammon used to be the game that ruled the world uh, before chess, and chess as it was played was changed by the Muslims in the sense of that, and the movement from backgammon to chess was a movement from fate to free will. That's all that you gotta look. You gotta look in the book for all that. From fate to free will, which brings us much more to the reality as Allah has ordered it. So, in any case, chess is halal. Okay, is it well? Checkmate means Shah Mat. The Shah is dead, or what have you. Well, that's why you're always supposed to protect your leadership. If you don't protect your leadership, somebody's gonna kill your leadership, right? So let's move on. Okay, well, I'm not trying to get to that. Okay, let's go. So here you have, so even in this Despicable Me piece right here, not trying to elaborate on it. I talked about it in our other sessions, and sorry, somebody online knows how to send you to the place where we did that. Any case, but it's there. So you see, even with the guy Despicable Me dude, he's got this is a disguise of the checkerboard. I don't even know his name. Grow, something like that. Grow. It's the same. He always has this around his neck because it's a symbol of the same thing. Symbol of the same. And you see in the checkerboard scenario there. Let me see. Oh, okay. Sometimes when I change these slides in the full mode, it doesn't change. So let's change the view. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to do it so it doesn't get. All right, I need Fahmi, Joel, anybody who got my number right there with you, Georgette, anybody. Are the slides changing? That's what I need to know. Just because this thing goes into full screen mode, and I don't know if it is changing or not. I see wonderfully, but it's changed. So somebody text me and let me know. Are the slides changing? Because I can't even see the chat on the StreamYard. Come on, y'all. You got fast fingers. Are the slides changing? That's what I want to know. Whoever is there and can tell me if they're changing, let me know. Okay, let's. Okay, so they are changing out here. All right, let me see. Get there this way. It's a lot, huh? Okay, great. Thank you, Charmaine. Believe it or not, we've gone through like all this all this. This was on the Wednesday morning. You have to get to the ATH, All Things Human, where we deal with the history uh, of Satan and all that. We did that before we changed up. All I'm trying to do is get to the chessboard. So inshallah. So let's see where we're at here. Let's see. We never touched on this one. This was Cool in the Gang. She's fresh. Man, that stuff is so full. I haven't even touched on that. But let's move on. All I'm trying to do is get to this chessboard. All right. So there we go. All right. So you had so Despicable Me. Okay, chessboard. That's all I'm trying to do. Point out all that was just to get you see the chessboard there in the background, right? Why? Why? Why is that? Why is it there? I mean, why? Does that seem like a normal part of wallpaper or anything like it? No, it's to serve the purpose to show that the overlords, I'll put it that way, who are really underlings, like minions, who themselves are Masons, secret order type folks. Moving on. So all I'm trying to do is get to finally those 4 squares. So if you can see the chessboard flat, just see it flat, right? So imagine this was a chessboard proper, right? And you had the 4 squares that were right in the middle, and right in the middle of the chessboard. And then if you can imagine that chessboard being drawn up with the 4 squares, we know that this is more than 64 squares, and this is the devil's chessboard, that's a big story right there. But the point is that at the peak are the 4 squares, and it is through the control of the 4 squares that you have, quote unquote, control of the world. All right, but the 4 squares are also are connected with the 4 bases of the human being, the 4 bases of the human being. When Imam Muhammad introduced us to the terminology and the Jacobite, Jah, J-A-H, which some call God. Jah is power and force, right? And that base is motivations, drives, sentiments, and aspirations. Motivations, drives, sentiments, and aspirations, right? When you control that, you control the world. Okay, in chess, you control the center, you control the world. When you control the motivations, drives, sentiments of a human being, you control that human being. Okay, so what's called for self-control? Self-control is to control your own motivations, drives, sentiments, and aspirations. When you can control your own motivations, drives, sentiments, and aspirations, then you are in control. You have self-control, right? And it's with that self-control, you have all the power you need in order to do that. And that in the game of chess, there's some very tempting things coming through my mind. Let's see if it can happen quick. Let's see if it can happen quick. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and do this. I don't know when I'll get to tell you otherwise if I don't tell you now. All right, here's the note. This video is done by Cool in the Gang, and likely they didn't know. Likely they didn't know what was going on in the background and what have you. When I say in the background, meaning the Jacobite sensibility behind it. I'd rather they didn't know than to say, well, yeah, they knew, because we know that at least one, if not 2 of them, were Muslims. Any case, so it was directed by David Mallet. That's a symbol. There's a sign there, a mallet, right? A mallet, Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dream Coat. So you already know he's dabbling in scriptural symbolism, etc. And nothing that has power in this world gets his power without tapping into the archetypal issues and the collective psyche of the people that they're trying to manipulate. And nobody is more manipulated or under the power and influence of the Bible than people in the West. Right, so the directors, the musicians, the producers, etc., that do the big stage things, and the top artists, etc., their stuff has to be drenched in there. Like right now, there's this thing with Beyonce and Church Girl, and there's something else. There's another one. I think it's the record supposed to be "Break My Soul" or something like that. So I won't even go into it. But there's a part in there where I'm just going to tell you. There's a part in there where there's a line in one of her songs where she takes the pages of the Bible and uses them as a tampon. That's it. So when you want to really deal with the idea of and it's a whole nother thing to talk about selling your soul to the devil, is longer than the time that we want to take this morning on that. But we'll get back to that at some point in time, really understanding what it means to sell your soul to the devil in practical human terms. But let's get to this part right here. And all this is related to the four squares. All this relates to the control of motivation, drive, sentiments, and aspirations. That's the focus of what I'm saying right now. So David Mallet, who is this guy? David Mallet, the one who directed this film clips that we're talking about. David Mallet is a British director, particularly noted for his work on music videos, including David Bowie's Ashes to Ashes. There you go, back to the scriptures, right? Rush's Distant Early Warning, and Queen's Radio Gaga, I Want to Break Free videos. He's also known for directing some concert recordings of the acclaimed British soprano Sarah Brightman and other major live music and spectacle events such as 4666 and Cirque du Soleil. Now, mind you, I think this 46664, it was Nelson Mandela's prison number. Nelson Mandela's prison number. I'm going to keep on going. So it said he also directed such prominent concerts as Pink Floyd's Pulse. So this is no small guy. Let's put it like that. Now let's look at this video right here. No need to worry about the song. You know the song. She's fresh, exciting, so exciting to me. You know that song. See the pyramids? All right. So, sorry, Blood Talk. But in any case, there's all kind of imagery there. So let's move on. So that's a repeat. Now here's another portion from the same video. Okay, so I get a note that it's not moving. There's a visual Let me see. I am still sharing. So it seems to me the video is not showing. It's still on the checkerboard. Ah, my God. Okay, so maybe that's all the reasons that I can't show it. So regretfully, I'll have to just, mashallah, I'll have to do it. I'll figure out some kind of way just to come to this. Yeah. Since I can't, since the visual is not coming through on this platform, don't know why. Whatever. So I'm sorry. So we got it. I'm gonna have to cut it. It's because the point is that I could show if we had different platform. I think I'm gonna have to do it on Zoom. Do it just a one shot, simple. Okay, so yeah, just that segment, just to connect with this, just that segment. I know I actually do know a lot of you. You have classes, or you have classes on Sundays and the like. I don't want to really interrupt or create problems or issue from that for you. But what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. What's going on Sunday? I think I normally don't have a session on Sunday. I don't know. Can't say. So those of you who are on my email list, what I'm going to do, I'll if I decide to do just to cover that portion, I think I need to just show you. You need to see that Cool in the Gang piece in connection with the four squares, the motivation, drive, sentiments, and aspirations. You actually need to see that. So if I do that, what I'll likely do. Let me put the word out there, and you can decide how you're going to do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'll do it. I'm going to, inshallah, I'm going to do it on the Zoom piece. So I'll send out the Zoom link so that you can see the video. It's just really critical that you see the video in order to get the value of it. And given that I do it, well, let me go ahead and make a commitment that, okay, Fajr comes for us like just a little before 90 seconds. Little before 5:30. So right now, because I don't want to interrupt with other people's classes, right? Right now, I'm going to do a Zoom for 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. Pacific time, just to cover this, just to get it out there. It's like it's going to be sitting in the refrigerator, the refrigerator of my archives forever. I don't know when I'll ever do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Inshallah, if Allah bless me with life and wake up and there, 7. So from like 7 to 8 in the morning, we do it on Zoom. And in any case, it'll be recorded. And so I'm going to send you the Zoom link. Now, let me go ahead and put this in here. SABILILLAH at AOL.com. So if you want me to add you to my email list, and you want me on, and it said only for tomorrow. I'm not trying to build an email list. Listen, mashallah, I'm good, right? So if you want to get the Zoom link for what I'm saying I'm going to present in the morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time, then you need to send your email to my email, and I'll add you to the list so that you'll get the Zoom link tonight sometime, so that you'll be able to check in for that presentation on. And inshallah, I'm only going to focus on the Cool in the Gang video, and the issue of the issue of the four squares, and the issue of motivation, drive, sentiments, and aspirations. That's the only thing. And if you only want that, then make a note in your email only for tomorrow. It's okay. I'm looking. I understand. I got hundreds of thousands, literally. It's not rhetorical. Hundreds of thousands of emails. So sometimes it can be overwhelming. I don't want to add to your burden. All right. So that's what's going to happen, inshallah, by the grace of Allah, by Allah's permission, tomorrow morning from 7 o'clock. That piece that we didn't get to cover on the video. Thank you so much for your time. 520, come on back. 520, you got a comment. I'm sorry. I had things I needed to cover and say. I did see your hand. I was going to come back to you. So 520, if you are 520-273 and you still want to make a comment, go ahead and push one. I'm not gonna be going. But beyond that, I'm going to show my brother Abdul Shahid's comment, and then we're going. The mission is possible. Yes, sir. This common person among the Muslims sees that reality, and I share with the public the fact that we are winning right now. Take a good look at our Muslim influence in society. I agree. Okay, so 520. I guess you're good, and have no comment. Yeah, some of us have. Oh, yes, so it will. Okay, Sister Daya said some of us have classes at 7 a.m. So, yeah, there's so many classes out there. So let us know about the recording. Yes. So I will record it. And what inshallah, what all is inshallah. What I will do also is for those of you who miss it. Well, what I'm going to do actually, I'll record it. And then I will also send the video link, whatever. So I'll translate it, to stuff that they do. And then I'll send you a link to the recording, to the same email list. So the same email list that got it. The first link will also get the link for the recording, inshallah. All right, thank you so much for your patience, brothers and sisters. I hope there was some benefit in all of the sporadic shooting that I was doing. May Allah guide us, help us, protect us, and bless us to see the way and follow it. God's peace be on you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.